Hey guys, Ben here from Second Dynasty. Hopefully you are hearing me all right. Uh, it is Friday stream time, and with me on the line I have Zorima. I hope he's still there. Hey Zorima,
I'm here.
welcome back for another week. Nice to see a few people in chat again. We did manage to get our countdown going at a reasonable time today, so that when we do post our links and all that, it's not up too I don't know what I'm saying. It's a Friday. I'm tired. Uh, this week we've been quite busy. We've moved on from all of those stretch goals for the Sleipnir. If you're joining us for the first time, I make 3D printable spaceships at 28mm scale, like the ones you see behind me. That is the Sleipnir, which is sort of like a hard sci-fi expanse themed style ship. I've also done some more like Galaxy Far Away ships, a little bit more Japanese animation inspired stuff. And next time around we're going to do some Traveler. So we are right in the middle of finishing up our deliveries for our last Kickstarter. And actually, we have quite the show today, depending on whether or not our mysterious guest comes or not. And we also have maybe a little bonus for everyone. But before we get to that, we'll also be talking about Deck Designer today, and John's going to give us an update. But in the meantime, I thought we would start with Zorima's work. You've been hard at work on your secret project, or not so secret project, right?
Oh, yeah. We've been hard at work testing and going through stuff to make sure it works, doesn't create the problems, and the lights don't burn out. The Alpha shuttle basically was designed with a lighting. Oh, you're switching back and forth.
Yeah, I realized I made a mistake there, so we're back
Okay.
now. The audio
Okay.
wasn't on there.
The Alpha shuttle was designed with originally without any sort of lighting kit setup, and I went back over the files, corrected some of the stuff that was in error, and refined a few things, and then laid out some pathways for wires in it, and the lighting kit engines and headlights on the front, and a infrared little laser light at the top, and the battery kits are in hidden little drawers, so they're not visible. The switches are in key locations to make it easy to use. Um, the kit also comes with will come with basically a total package of two engine kits, one top kit and one bottom kit, which isn't shown here yet. Bottom kit's still going through testing, and it will basically be used with two panel lights, like green lights at the bottom as well, to light up your dashboard, as well as the lights on the three lights on the front of the shuttle itself that are on the lower side. Um, we basically have an overhead light in the cockpit that's put in there underneath at the bottom, which is one of those pictures there at the bottom right corner you can see. Um, and you can see how the engine lights still rotate, and you can move the engine about and freely and still keep the lighting working without damaging the wiring inside by design. So we went through a lot of stuff to get it right and make sure it was working. Some people have given me some ideas and maybe changing light colors on some of the lights, and I may do that. So that's a future maybe. If you have feedback on that, go to our Discord and hit the lighting area and suggest what colors or changes you might want to see on some of these lights. The engine lights I think are pretty good, but I might switch them to a more of a bluish white. And I think that the headlights colors being that kind of yellowish white is correct for regular headlights, but they may be too bright. So some people said they viewed them as a laser, so they should be red like laser lights, like a be able to do some kind of like like you'd shoot a laser and they're like warmed up or something.
Yep.
Which it's another possibility, and maybe we'll provide two kit colors because it wouldn't be hard just to switch, the lights one for one color and one for the other type of thing or something. So please give us some feedback in your on Discord with what your thoughts are. when we do this, and it will end up being released on 2 locations. It'll be on what the correct me, Ben. Here, we're going to put it on Evan's site, which is the electronics guys, and the my mini factory. Right? Is that what we're saying later?
I'm not sure if we were going to put it there as well because it complicates the delivery if we're taking payment for it. But in any case, we'll have that sorted out for release, and I'll let you know in an update. We may well just put it on the Pledge Manager just so that it's easy to find this time around. But I think we're going to, no matter what, we're going to make it available on that site so that it won't just be handling the shipping for some people. It'll be also handling the you can just go there and buy it directly and not have to do the whole back and forth thing.
Right. We're working on the fine details for that.
Yeah.
But in regards to that, it should be noted that whatever we get worked out, we'll make sure that we're able to order multiple copies because that was a problem with our last order. And so if we can't do that with my manufacturer yet, then of course we wouldn't do that yet. So there's some odds and ends things like that need to be refined. But next week we'll have probably the finished light kit pictures, and I'll give you some basic overall shots of the whole ship and everything lit up. And we'll go from there and see if I'll get you guys a nice look at it. Now, these are kind of our test pictures that I was using.
Yeah.
To figure stuff out.
And speaking of next week, Friday is the last full day we'll have the combined light kits up on the Pledge Manager. After that, they're being separated into single products. They'll still be available. You just won't be able to take advantage of the hot Kickstarter pricing. That was just an introductory sort of price. We do have to move to actually making it make business sense for us. So that will be taking place on the 12th. It will be the pricing will change and the combined kits will be unavailable from the store. We will still honor anything that's already been ordered prior to that date, obviously, and we'll also have a reminder in the send out, which I hope we'll have later today. With the ship, we're actually, let's see if I turn this image off. The ship that we're actually going to be looking at today, there is a little bit more that we might be looking at a little bit later in the show, but that all depends on whether or not our second guest turns up or not. Because I haven't seen the Discord in a while. Zorma, is he still? Yeah, he's not on, is he?
He's still not on, no.
All right, well, we'll see. The guest is not that mysterious. It's Pickle, who may have his own cult to attend to. But before we do go much further with this, I want to actually kick things over to John, who's going to show us all about deck design, assuming that he's not eating cat food right now.
I've been here prior the time entire.
He worked very hard on that. You made Albin laugh at least. Albin's in the background too, by the way, guys, in case you hear some snickering.
Hi, show my face.
They want you to show your face. He can't. He has to social distance from me. See?
No, I don't mean Albin. I mean show my face.
Oh, right,
Me,
yeah. So
myself.
demanding. It's like, okay, hang on a second. I need to switch to Discord, and then I need to make it full screen, and then I need to just pick yours. All right. So, let's see. And on the stream, there we go. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, you're bigger than I am.
Yes, there we go. I can see him now. Okay,
Yeah.
we can see him now.
We can, indeed. And we can see Deck Designer. Show us what you've been working on there, John.
Okay. Well, I'm just very happy to be here. I can't wait to show you the updates that have been done to Deck Designer and also a little bit of help. I'm going to be building the first Deck 11 real quick. And I want to show you the new snapping system with the actual parts. And it's been a blast been working on this. So I'm going to bring in, and we're just going to do a little bit of, we'll place our first part. Our first part we place just a grid. And then I'm going to bring in our wall. So you see in the bottom right, our tool options. I can click a snap point. So I'm going to click on this one so it's in red now. And then I'm going to click on the spot I want to snap to, here. Now I didn't pick the perfect spot, so great start, but I'll let it fix itself. So you can now set up pieces. And I'm going to build up. And you click where you want to snap to, and it puts it in for you. And I do apologize for any of the flashing. It's because of I didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that part. And this part's a little slower because I haven't added in the eyedrop tool that I wanted to add in. Did you have questions, Ben, as I worked on this?
What was your inspiration? No, I'm kidding. This is looking good, but take us through why you've spent so much time on the snapping system.
Well, when it turns out all these little parts, every single one of these, none of them fit to any known grid system I could find. You think like some of the walls and the floors, yes, they fit. But when we start working with the spaceships, there's all these interesting oddities. Everything slightly shifts up and down, left and right, in all kinds of fun and fascinating ways. And I thought asking Ben to modify all his parts to fit a grid is super unrealistic. And then when people import their parts, they want to be able to also just build with them. So I thought, what unifies all of these things? It's the snapping system. So I want to show you like this little engine semiotic clip, which I have currently open. I can pop it in here. And it's such a unique part. It's slightly up than where it really should be than from a normal part.
They're upside down.
Oh, there you go. Is that
there
correct?
You go. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to build it my way. I did it my way.
Oh, John, you're so entertaining. Okay. Did you try Googling OpenLock snapping system Unity? Asked Crypto Jones. I hope that's a joke.
It is a joke because if it's not a joke, I'm going to kill Crypto Jones with my face. I gotta put the chat. 1 second. I gotta put the chat up so I can respond to chat because I love.
Well, yeah, hey, you should.
Yeah. Thank you, Crotelia. Crotala. That's your name.
What? Oh, Crotelia.
Crotala.
Crotala.
So I want to show that there's so many neat and interesting parts to this that make it work really well for. Like there you go.
Just call me Kang. It's easier. How are we to know?
So I want to show the ladder well because the ladder well is what I was fascinated by. I'm going to pop in this piece. You can see how quick it is to put everything together.
It really is, especially if you've done this 1,000 times before, like you have, John.
I know.
There's going to be like a pre-made like ship kits, right? Through the ships that you can tear apart and rebuild. Isn't that?
Oh yeah. We're gonna have the plans available.
So I think that's right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, so here's the fun part. I'm going to show this part. You can actually put clips inside of these things. So I'm going to take, this is our ladder rail clip. Oh, not ladder rail, joint clip, right?
Yeah.
This looks right. I'm going to click this top side because there's 2 clip points. I'm going to pick this was my top side.
Yep.
Pop it in.
Yep.
Then I'm going to take our hatch. I'm very bad at finding things because this is something that I do want to fix. I want to add pictures or something to make this easy for me and like rename them to shorter names. Okay, and then I'm going to pick the hatch and there, it's done.
Perfect. Wow, and my head's in the way. I'll just move my head into the other corner.
I'm moving you out of the way there.
That is awesome.
Closer.
Hey, John, if you're going to name the part name, are we going to where are we going to find the file name? So when we need to look up the files to print them, we know what we're trying to match it to.
It will still export out the real file names in the CVS. These are only the display names, but that's a good point. Did I answer or did I not answer correctly?
I think you answered correctly. Which is great because there is some meta information, right, that we store.
Mm-hmm.
And in there we can potentially have like an alternative name for the part.
Right. You could store like what names should be found for it. And I'm still debating, this is being decided if I should include the what's I'm looking for, the MD5, the checksums. I think we decided not on that. I can't remember.
I think the issue was that when we netfab a model or put out a new version, it will have a different file size?
Yeah, it will be the thing will be slightly different.
So my question is, could you in theory put in the clips then if you want to count them?
Well, you could do that. I'm encouraging people not to do that. CSV, I'm sorry. And the point is you don't want a bunch of hidden parts. CVS is a pharmacy. You don't need to put the clips in because the system already can tell what parts and how many clips ish to put in. Though you could, if you were like, I want to plan out every single detail, feel free to do that. I'm not going to stop you there, but you can let it just tell you generally, hey, here's what you need to put in.
So it will give an approximation of how many clips it thinks.
Yeah, and it's not going to do any advanced physics. It's not going to be like, oh, is this the wrong way?
Yep.
You got to tell me.
See that little semiotic symbol down the bottom of that?
Mm-hmm.
That's an exhaust symbol. So you want the exhaust to be coming out down the bottom, right?
Yes, exactly.
So
yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yep.
So that's those are the pieces. Now there's one part missing, and it's the middle one. So I wanted to bring up, I accidentally did not set up the snap point. I think you can even see that if you click in central engine mount. You can see the top part is done, but I forgot to add snap points to the bottom. And I wanted to bring this up not because I want to show how awful I'm at things, but there's a need for volunteers to test this stuff out, to also help me set up more snap points on the parts and get all the Sleipnir done. Because I did deck 11, and it took me some time to set up all the snap points correctly and all that stuff. But I feel with help from other people, we could break it down into different decks. We can work on things together. It'd be so much fun. We could have a little party.
Crypto Jones. Yep, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, but we don't have to do it yourself. We could set up different decks, and that's why I wanted to bring out. I really would love some volunteers' help in setting up these things. So remember to email deck designer at Second Dynasty to get in on that. And I think that also be in the update post for everybody to review.
Yes, John, you might want to post that on the announcements on the Discord too, on both Discords.
Yep, we'll get that out as well. But the other thing we really want to test, like, it's not just to use your slave labors. I should put Albin on it. I'm only half joking. Lisa will probably actually do some of it, a good chunk of it. But what we also want to test out is kind of like, it'll let us know what we need to provide in the sense of, having a community that can either, put in third-party parts eventually, or if you're using it as it would be more like the producers, right? Is that side of things going to stay in this version, or is it outside of it?
What do you mean?
Well, we have the two different versions of Deck Designer, right? We have the consumer version and we have the producer version, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
So can anyone add these parts in, or is this only in the sort of like heavier version?
Only in the producer version.
So really, one way to say too is if you want to play with the powerful tools we're actually using to create these, which won't be released to the main community at large, this is also your opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And to make that part as easy as possible.
I love it. Crypto Jones comes on and says, that sounds like a lot of work. I'll test Dragon's Rest stuff. Fuck Second Dynasty.
I will be turning off for the production version that's sent out early to people. It's been turned off all import of new STLs. Only imports the existing ones from the Sleipnir. It has a whitelist.
Ah, okay. That's a clever way to make sure people can't do naughty things. It wouldn't really be naughty things, but
you technically could work around it, but why would you? It'll be so much extra hassle.
Yeah.
Man, stop showing my face now. My part's done. I've used up my time.
Oh, okay.
I love all of you.
This is the part where we find out that no one heard us this entire time. No, I'm kidding. All right. No, I'm just watching him wave. Keep waving, John. They can still see you. They can still see you, John. No, Albin. No.
Sorry.
Oh, well, you have some love there in the chat for you. Let's see. I want to just double check. Are we still? Hang on, I've got to end the full screen thing. John did it for me. All right. Oh, great. Pickle is at least on. So, Zoran, can you handle that if we can get him into the actual conversation?
Sure. You want me to do an invite to voice?
No. He. I mean, just handle it in the chat on the Discord, so I can keep our viewers entertained.
I am doing that.
Yes.
I could sing a song to entertain people. Oh, muted.
No. Sing your song. It's all right. All right. So until we do get Pickle on the line, which hopefully will be soon. I do have his stuff already imported into this scene. I can start reviewing this week's work. So Zorama, just let me know when he's on, or he can introduce himself. Here we have. Sorry.
Sure. Yes. Got you.
Right. Here we have the Pegasus. Unfortunately, I don't have scene lighting in at the moment, so I'm not going to add any fancy shading. It'll just be this sort of like grey box version. But I thought we'd do a tour of the finished ship. Some of you guys that are familiar with the Discord would have seen my most recent postings and renders of this ship. It's a little less organized on the side here, but let me just take off the top so we can review the inside of the ship. Actually, I'll turn that back on. So the exterior of the ship, we have 3 decks. This is based on the Chimera Pathfinder chassis, and then it just has sort of like a snub nose in front, which is just this adjustment that basically we cut off a part of the sort of tapering of the ship, and I kind of like the results, if I'm being honest. I think it looks quite good. It does look more civilian, which is the idea. Not everyone wants a warship. Well, the Cerberus will be for that. But where do the attendants talk shit about the pilots / passengers? I'll show you momentarily. If I can sort of like get through the hole here. Let's see, what's a good part to focus on? Maybe this. And if I can zoom into the door, you can sort of see the second level here. We've got our passenger seats, slightly misaligned. You've got, I guess, your avionics access here. There is a sort of ladder well in the corner for the crew to actually get up to that second story. All right, I wanted to show off what was in the front there, but really there's not too much. So let's just take off the top. So yeah, we have the upstairs deck here with some of the forward passengers. We have a new type of airlock, which is actually angled. So that should be interesting. I have printed this and have just made a few minor adjustments. If there's anything that keeps this from a release this weekend, it'll be just because I'm not happy with the prints. I've got some on the actual on the printer board over there that I've yet to sort of test. We have a new sort of like bathroom cabinet, which is based on the one that was in the captain's quarters on the Chimera stretch goals. We actually have some sleeping berths for those that would rather travel lying down. I'd be pretty happy to do that on most commercial flights, to be honest. And then we have our stairwell descending into, let's see, we need to take away deck 3, into our sort of cafeteria area. So we have some water closets. Wouldn't like to sit at this table. But you do have a small kitchenette there. I think we'll probably have a clip or two that can fill in these holes, or we'll just do a version without the clips. And then you go into the main passenger compartment here. We've got another airlock, so the idea is you can actually have 2 classes, so they'd have different levels. Then we have the crew section. I was considering actually modifying the door so it says crew on it, but I know at least some people would rather use stickers or transfers. So we've got a second kitchen here so that they can do some food for the others. A small seated area for the crew. A ladder well that goes down to the cargo bay. Then we have this sort of partition here. It does have, some communications there. This sort of just sits as one piece on top. So we can really want to lock away people with this door, and then you just have like a relatively simple security cover there.
Oh, it looks like Pickle has popped into Discord, and I'm not sure if he's on voice yet.
Oh, hi, Pickle.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't want to talk over you.
Oh, it's fine. Well, thank you. That's the Canadian politeness, right?
Hey.
So I'll just finish the tour up, and then we can talk about your wonderful work. So yeah, we just have some sleeper berths and another water closet for the crew, and then the deck below. We have, let's see if I drop the hole there and I drop the deck there. We have a cargo bay. The cargo bay itself has a new front loading ramp, as you can see. This is the last part that I needed to make printable, just basically because, well, the ramp itself is printable, but this new piece on the bottom to sort of taper it to the hole needs a way to hook onto it. So if we do some work later, that's where I'll focus. You can see the ladder well comes down here. I might add just a little control panel there or something which would operate the hatch upstairs. We do have these wider airlock sort of areas. It is still just one piece here. These aren't wall slots like on the shuttle. We might do something else in the future, but I really wanted to keep the clip holes for now. Yeah, we just have a cargo cabin here. And then we actually have in engineering, since the engines were actually outside the ship, in engineering I've put in some hyperdrives. So these are sort of like influenced strongly by the hyperdrive we see in the Phantom Menace. So I figured of all ships, this probably could fit in as a luxury liner or something for the sort of Star Wars universe. So that's where we're at. But right now we have a guest, so we can come back to the ship. We have with us, of course, flavored pickle. The big question everyone wants to know is, what flavor is the pickle?
Whatever you want it to be.
Oh, it's like a Wonka pickle.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel it feels really skeevy saying a Wonka pickle, but yes.
It does indeed. But we're all about
it tastes like Oompa Loompa. Like that's the first thing you'll
Okay. All right. Maybe you guys had a different vernacular than we did growing up, but let's talk about your modeling, because we actually have some really cool models in here. I couldn't get there was nothing in the OBG folder.
They're all exported right this second. So
Awesome. Well, don't get too distracted, because I'd love to talk about this awesome mech. You've done 5 different versions of it, and of course the awesome spacesuit collection, where I think there was a whole 20 models in that pack.
Yeah, it was 20. I think I did 5 for each variation, and then we've also got the EVA, which I think was 7.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, yeah, there might have been over 20 now that I think about it. So there are a ton of these spacesuited models, and at some point I was going to get you to fit them into the closets too on the Sleipnir, but I'll get back to that. It's one of those things that got forgot. So I was going through the painstaking process of actually importing in the triangulated mesh, which is an STL, and then coloring it by hand. So I only just got a few metallic parts on it, but I'll be able to make some nice render graphics out of it a lot quicker if I actually.
Oh, I forgot that you needed the OBJs for that.
Well, yeah, that would help on that side of things. But these are going to be printable, and guess what, guys? This is coming to everyone today as a thank you for participating in the campaign. I should say, if you are a backer. But I am going to be a bit mischievous and make it so that you actually have to go to the store and add it on for free. We'll probably only have it free for a limited amount of time. But, it'll help people get on there if you want to upgrade your pledge as well, or add those light kits, which are going to, some of them are going to end next Friday. So this is kind of like a push so that, we can get some more light kits sold maybe, and that sort of thing. So, Pickle, how did you get into modeling? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it since I was 8.
For context, where are we?
Sorry, I'm 24 now.
All right.
So, God, I went to public school. Don't judge me for forgetting how long this has been. Anyway, like 16 years. Was pretty garbage back then, but I got into 3D in elementary school because I had a computer class with those awful like fatback Macs that every school had, even though they never actually were. And he was going up with a list of free software, and Animator was on that one. And I ended up downloading it that night, not really knowing what to do with it, just dicking around and then getting frustrated at it. I think I made something like a Fever Dream Mike Wazowski, trying to make a creature, and dropped it for a while until my uncle picked me up a physical model of a Star Destroyer. And then as soon as I had that built and painted, I immediately jumped on the computer and tried to recreate it digitally. And I'm like, oh, this is a lot of fun when I have something to go off of.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. And that's how I got into it. Definitely didn't really get much better at it until maybe around high school, after high school.
So you work in Blender now, right?
Yes. Yeah. I don't believe Animator's even around anymore.
I don't know. I started in 3D Studio Max. Actually, it was called 3D Studio, not Max. Release candidate 3, I think it was. So this was in the late 90s.
Right.
And then I moved over to Maya in university and haven't looked back since. I don't at all look down on Blender. If I could be bothered relearning another program suite, I might switch to Blender because the 20,000 crowns a year really hurts sometimes, and Autodesk just has this suffocating grip on the market. But Maya's what I know, Maya's what I love, and you guys actually backing all the Kickstarter campaigns make that cost rather easy to absorb. And then, of course, I paid for 3 years in advance, and then they dropped the price dramatically at the start of the pandemic, which is the way. And then they jacked it up again, like a heap. So, yeah, lesson there. Autodesk sucks. Use Blender if you can. Blender is quite robust. It is a free alternative to Maya. The actual modeling principles are quite transferable between packages, especially the kind of modeling that both I and Pickle do, which is polygon modeling. Well, you do some sculpting in Blender as well, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's a solid mix of both. For base models and a lot of things, I prefer to start with poly modeling just to get like a basic shape or outline and then move to sculpting.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
So, any other of Pickle's work that we can show off, like the suits or anything?
I've got what I've got loaded into the scene. What were you thinking of? I mean, Pickle could share his screen if you've got
some
stuff.
spacesuits. I do know that Pickle's doing a figure for our Christmas special that we're doing on the support board that you can join the giveaway, and he's gonna be giving away a 3D model rendering of something Grinch related, because it's one of the 3 movies we're playing on Christmas Eve.
Oh, right, yes, your movie night. I forgot about that. And you were also giving away some spools of filament, right?
Filament and a filament dryer. We're giving away 1 filament dryer to the top prize, and we're giving away some filament spools. That's our general giveaway, or Wham Bam plate and resin if you have a resin printer instead. And if you're if you join us for the movie night and watch the movies every hour, we're going to stop and do a giveaway. And Pickle's Grinch model is one of those giveaways.
Very good. Well, you'll be linking those links, right? The relevant links at the end of the show. They've been posted at the head of the show as well. If anyone's watching this after the fact, this will be one of the episodes I'll probably record and put up. I haven't done that the last couple of weeks.
The giveaway to join the giveaway. All you need to do is go to our Discord and go to the channel named giveaway and join. That's it. That's all you have to do to join.
Indeed. Very, very easy. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did it myself. Feels a bit cheeky, but you never know. The early days of Twitch, where everyone was giving away prizes and things. Those were the days. All right. Yeah. So, do you have something you can share with us, Pickle? Like maybe share your screen on Discord, or is there a gallery we can go to?
Yeah, if you some of your work, maybe like show your Patreon.
I don't think there's too many public pictures on the Patreon, is there?
There is. Every release I do has a public and a private version. The public version, obviously, just with like the link, or sorry, other way around, just with the images and the Patreon only. But if you want me to do some turntables of like current models I've got going on.
Yeah, sure. If you can share your screen there.
I've got my December release.
Oh, yes, you do. I have the November pictures up, so you can see some of the models that have been done there.
Yeah. Last month was Battle Mates.
Yeah, there's some very nice stuff in there.
Just let me know when you're screen sharing, and I'll switch to that.
Alrighty. Just open Blender.
Yeah. It's interesting to see someone else's work. Wow, that's kind of cool with that robot claw hand. It doesn't look very practical.
It's tabletop. It's really cool all the way.
That's very Warhammer 40k-ish.
Yeah. Power Fist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a popular genre, right? It looks like it's a nice blend of sci-fi and fantasy.
Okay, I got my screen up.
Pickle does have a Discord channel on our main board too, guys. If you're interested, you can pop over there and ask him questions directly. That's sort of his little space he uses for like questions and answers. If you have stuff later. Oh, we sharing? Share.
I'm not quite seeing it though.
Sorry, it's up. So this is one of the.
Hey, hang on a second. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing John for some reason.
Sure.
Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. I had John selected before, so hang on. Let me full screen this and switch it over for the peeps in the chat. Discord share. There we go. Now we can see it. Ooh. What a beastie.
Yeah, this is a creature I've designed for this release that I'm probably going to be putting out in 6-8 hours or so.
Oh, okay. So what are we looking at?
The theme for this month was dragon vampires.
Okay. Where do the themes come from? Are the themes suggested by the patrons?
Well, normally it just involves getting stoned and going on Pinterest and saying, hey, that's cool, I should make that theme.
Okay.
Well, not quite like that, but
Yeah. You just said, "Oh, I go on Pinterest and then I steal stuff." Wow.
Sometimes he gets this stuff from people in the Discord too, because people throw random things in there and say stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on the Cult of Pickle Facebook and Patreon, a couple times I've asked like, "Hey, what are some themes you'd like to see?" And I usually throw those in. Each month I do a round of 5 themes because why not? And whatever goes, wins, comes out the theme.
Mm-hmm.
You just make up the theme though.
Makes sense. So since you're definitely trying to grow your Patreon support at this time as well, what do people get for becoming a Patreon on your site? Like, do they get access to the all that you've done before as well, or are there different levels?
So there's just one level. Well, 3, I guess. One's just the first 100 people who join get a better deal out of it, and then there's the merchant tier. But I haven't split any of my content according to different tiers. I like it all just on one.
Yep.
So what you get is you get a monthly release. I also have a welcome box, which has a handful of models and the Layhouse crab that I designed forever ago.
So if you're one of those lucky people, because there's still slots in the top 100 left, so that's $7 a month, right? Plus local taxes.
Yes.
I think you get the tag for Little Pickle too if you join on our board.
That is, yes.
That also sounds highly suspicious, like a Wonka pickle.
Yeah. That's actually the tone I'm going for is casual paranoia.
Okay. It does kind of look like a Final Fantasy dragon.
Oh my god, it totally does.
Mixed with maybe like a little bit of like Cthulhu.
Yeah, I love designing like Lovecraft monsters and things with tentacles.
Oh god, this could all get very very dangerous.
Starside says in the chat, he says, "Suddenly, I'm really glad my DM doesn't watch these."
But yeah, so you get that welcome box monthly release, and then I've also got an archive of all my old work. So if you've been subscribed for 3 months or longer, or just 3 consecutive months,
Okay.
you get a sync link with all of the previous months.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's basically $21. Then you can download everything and then bamf out if you want.
All right. And how many releases do you usually have per month?
1 release. It is 5 minis, 8 miscellaneous.
So there's like a terrain or scatter or something like that?
Yeah, the misc pack is.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this is the Lighthouse crab.
Nice.
This was like the first thing.
This is your crab thing. Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Is that a two-headed hermit crab?
It's not supposed to be. I'm not really sure what happened. I think I might have had to like move it when I was. Well, only the head got duplicated, so there you go. That's how it should actually look.
Very cool.
Yeah, this was the 3rd month I was doing Patreon. I want to do a big stupid project. It's awful.
So, have you test printed these as well?
Yes, I do all my test prints on my Ender 3 to make sure everything comes out nice.
Okay, I thought maybe you were aiming more for SLA printing, but you're doing these on FDM?
Yeah, so I over-exaggerate and emphasize, like, on this one it's a little easier to see, but I could just open up like the witch doctor or whatever. Yes. No, I did. Well, the idea is basically design for FDM, but like detail for. Sorry, design. Whatever. That's stupid.
Yeah, you
But
design for FDM, but have higher levels of detail that'll come out nice on SLA.
yeah, pretty much. The idea is to get like all of the shapes and details like large enough and I guess over exaggerated enough that it'll turn out just as well on a FDM as it will a SLA printer. Because it is like obviously it's an amazing technology, but it's not really reasonable for me to actually
Show them the star spawn.
resin printer. Like I don't have anywhere that's ventilated or whatnot. So it's a little frustrating. See, like as soon as the photon came out, all of these creators going to like humongously detailed things that just turn out absolutely horribly on a FDM printer.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm not trying to bash that because obviously a higher level of detail and fidelity is quite good. But this is one of my earlier characters, and like even the small details, like the buckles on the belt and the stitching, like the valleys and peaks, are all done in a way that when I printed that on my Ender 3, that I was able to make those out after priming it.
What kind of layer height do you print out at?
0.12.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, I find there isn't much benefit to printing at 0.08 over 0.12 with my Ender 3. Obviously, that's me, but like, I actually find it muddies details more at a 0.08, whereas 0.12 is like that sweet spot between.
You're 100% right. That's exactly what with Enders and a lot of the creatality printers. You got to 0.12 is the best you can really do and keep the distinction. Otherwise, you start to get them to blend together and bleed, and it creates problems. Yep.
Yeah, and it just takes 3 times as long.
And that's not just your models. That's like in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't the general rule of thumb that you don't want to really print miniatures under like 100 microns, really, because then the actual dipping between layers actually creates issues at the smaller scale.
That's why it muddies. The only way you can fix that is if you use a smaller nozzle. You have to use a 0.2 nozzle, and then you can do 0.8, but you can't do anything smaller than that. And it's not really worth for that one layer, that one extra height, when you can get pretty fine detail in 0.12. His models come out really good in 0.16 and 0.12. Very, very nice work. Show him the star spawn, your Cthulhu stuff.
Okay, as soon as this is loaded, because this was like,
wow.
I think out of all that I've done this month, like the month where I did these guys was probably my favorite.
Yeah, those are really good.
So like a sort of Mayan style dragon, or
Mesoamerican deities. I designed a set of these.
Cool.
This guy like prints gorgeously on FDM. Like every little detail and nook and cranny turned out well. It's all split for print.
Yeah. Oh, very nice.
You wanted to check out the star spawn?
Yeah, sure. You don't have the Plague Doctor still open, do you?
I can.
Oh, I was. We'll go to the star spawn first. I just thought that I saw that model was rigged, and I thought maybe that would be an interesting thing to show people.
Oh yeah, well the star spawn is also rigged.
Okay, so. Great. So just while this is loading, maybe I can give a little bit of a 3D 101 sort of lesson on the subject of rigging. Rigging is a process by which you take a static model and you add a bone structure for animation. So essentially, the idea here is that instead of just having a static model, you'd be able to repose it to have different positions, which is also why we end up with 20 plus spacesuit models. But once we get this open, we'll be able to show how it works. It is a lot more of a complex process than it sounds, maybe, because you do have to kind of go in and paint the mesh, and depending on, I guess, I haven't done it in Blender, but I've done it in Maya. You kind of have to paint where all the bones are sort of affecting different areas, but you can get quite a nice effect out of that and turn something from a rather static looking object into something that's dynamic. Obviously, this is originally a technology that's been designed for animation, but it's quite useful for repurposing models, and like, you know, that's one of the shortcomings of, say, like, I'm a big Reaper Miniatures backer. I've backed all of their Kickstarter campaigns, but you just get the same sort of, you know, these sculpts are static. Whereas if you have meshes that are being designed with these rigs in place, you can get all kinds of poses for them. And I believe that Popsicles also works in a similar way when posing.
There's a question from Crypto Jones.
Yeah.
He asks, Flavored Pickle, can we buy him on MMF? I'm assuming by buy him, he's referring to the model that we were looking at earlier, like the doctor model.
Yes.
So I have a Gumroad account.
Oh, Snake Guy. Sorry, the Snake Guy. He's asking about the Snake Guy. He corrected.
Oh yeah, I have a Gumroad account. It hasn't been updated in a bit just because of, you know, real world stuff and issues with time. But the plan is to get it all done within this week, and my entire library re-rendered in a better format and put up.
Crypto Jones, you can go get his minis on the Patreon, and the Snake God is in the set. I mean, what month is that set? Do you know?
Well, that will require being on the Patreon for 3 months, though, right? To hit the $21 mark.
Well, you get the first month. I think you get like what's open that month and the month prior, but that's it initially.
Yeah, and that was something I forgot to mention, is that releases are all available for 2 months. Because I really like the idea of, like, regardless of when you're joined, you're always able to pick up two kits.
Okay.
So what month was the Mesoamerican? Was that last month?
No, that was...
I forget how long ago that was.
I want to say...
Looked like it was like May or something.
I want to say July.
Okay.
Well, Crypto's interested in Snake God, so you can hook up with him maybe after, and, you know, Discord. Crypto, if you stop by the Discord in his room, you can on our support channel. I'm sure that Pickle can work with you to figure out how to get you the model for, you know, something. Work it out.
I'm going to work on getting Pickle to put his stuff on My Mini Factory anyway.
Yeah.
There's no reason. My Mini Factory, I sell all my stuff there. I make a lot of passive income from that. So I'd recommend that as a platform, because it is specifically designed for this kind of 3D printable miniature Pickle. I'm not just shilling for them. I don't get any money from them, but the other thing too is they're actually actively listening, as opposed to other platforms, to users. Like, for example, the whole pledge manager for My Mini Factory. That was me. I got that made.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not saying they'll do that for everything, but they are a little bit, you know, this is what they're designing to do. I'm not saying you need to take stuff off Gumroad. What I'm saying is you should do it in addition to that. And then you'll get happy campers like Crypto Jones that'll go and buy things straight away when you mention it.
See, that's the star spawn. That's pretty good, isn't it? Look at that.
They are out of the UK, yeah. Although technically, I think the owners are French. And the CEO is Swedish, so there's that.
Okay, I just wanted to you know, voice that question. Looks like he's asking something else.
No, he's just lamenting at the French ownership, I think.
He's lamenting about not being able to buy it now.
Look at that beast. Are those spiders on the beard?
He doesn't like him. He doesn't like mini. He doesn't like
Yeah, it's kind of got these lamprey things. on its beard.
That's cool.
Yeah. 'Cause I seen a monster in the Berserk manga that had it, the Sea God. And it's like all of its tentacles turned into like giant leech monsters with like eyes and teeth and stuff. So I'm like, that's cool. I need that on them.
Very cool.
Yeah. And this thing is fully rigged.
Yeah, so what if we demonstrate how the rig works so that people can kind of understand?
Okay. Gonna turn on rig.
See, I can easily repose things. So
Yeah.
basically, you create a custom skeleton for the model, and that sort of like tells you. I'm guessing you're going to get some weird deformations if you like move that elbow joint or something like that.
It depends on the creature.
Yeah.
Like, for this one, because it was so detailed and a lot of its poses, like a lot of it was just a lot of it had like really tight creases. Like the armatures, bone, and the limb are completely separate of the main body, so that there wouldn't be any weird deformation. Because I don't actually manually weight paint for my rig. All I do is you can just select like whatever that is, control parent and then automatic weights. And as long as the model isn't like super messed up or the armature isn't messed up, it usually does a decent enough job for miniatures. Sometimes there is like weird deformations around the joints, but then you can just go back into sculpt mode and then correct those, which I find much quicker and more intuitive for my workflow than trying to manually retopologize and do all that.
Yep.
Proper deformation and bending, because that is quite a lengthy process.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Awesome. Wow, this is really cool to see, and it's nice to see the kind of work you're doing as well. And also to speak to you for the first time.
Weird to think we haven't actually chatted.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
All right.
9 o'clock there, boss man.
Yeah, I know. That's this is actually a pretty awesome point. We're gonna round things up now, if you don't mind, Pickle.
Oh yeah.
Thanks again for joining us this session, and these incredible sort of power suits. They do actually. I think I showed it a couple of weeks back, but they actually fit into the PDC slots on the Sleipnir. So whilst you won't be able to actually get into the machine from inside the ship, you'll be able to get in a suit, come to the actual PDC locker sort of thing. It'll open up, you get in, and you go out and you'll be able to work on the ship, is kind of the idea. So we are going to add them. Look for this week's update, and they'll be coming to the Pledge Manager. And I am 100% certain we're going to be seeing other stuff from Pickle in the future, and especially as we get closer to our next project, Traveler. So,
yes, that's what I'm very excited about. Obviously, aliens and creatures are my specialty. Space suits and mechs are a bit out of my expertise.
Indeed. So we're definitely going to need some awesome miniatures to go along with the ships we're planning on producing. So we're going to wrap up the show now. Pickle, thanks again for joining us. Have a good day out there in Canada, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And thanks for showing us your process behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to start wrapping things up because we've got about a minute left. Zorima is posting those links to the Discord and webpage and everything else. I'm going to try and get this out today. But like I said, we'll have to see. Next week, we're going to be working on the one everyone's been waiting for, the Cerberus, the gunship version of the Pathfinder. as if the Pathfinder wasn't already cool enough. This is something that is actually close to my heart. It's something that Brian Jenkins, the painter of the Sleipnir, and that awesome shot of the Pathfinder, actually didn't want money for his services, but asked for a few custom parts for that ship, and this is where you guys get to enjoy the fruits of his labor. It's kind of heavily inspired by the World War II bombers, so we're going to be looking at that next week. I'm really looking forward to working on it. This ship has been fun as well. There are quite a few new parts. I'd say probably around about the 30 part range. Many of them are variants or remixes of existing ones, but I'll probably start with an upgrade kit. And then what I'd really like to do is work with John to sort of get this into Deck Designer. The documentation, may follow at a later date. I'll do some renders so you can see the general layout. But full documentation, that might take a little bit longer. So we'll see where we're at. All right, guys, it's 3 p.m. here, 9 a.m. I believe where Zorima is. Thanks, Zorima, for joining us.
And one other thing, I'm
Yeah.
looking for the lighting kit for that Cerberus too. After we get done with the mono engine.
Oh yeah. So
that's third on my list of ships to light up.
and actually, I think these the hyperdrives in this ship could be an interesting thing to convert to something that could have some lighting in it.
I agree. I can work with that. It'd be nice.
Yeah. All right, guys. Check out our social media and stuff, and look out for that next update. And yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you guys next week for yet another Friday update. And yeah, have a great week, everyone.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys. Oh, well, thanks, John, for coming as well. Bye.